This time on Ozark Garage, I'm going to show you how to tune a motorcycle carburetor using a wideband O2 sensor. So what I'm talking about today specifically are motorcycle carburetors with a throttle slide of some kind, either vacuum operated like the stock one on my DRZ400 or cable operated like a standard round slide or flat slide Mikuni. Even if you don't have a DRZ400 specifically, if you have a 4-stroke motorcycle, your carburetor probably looks like this anyway. I'm going to go through the parts of the carburetor, what they do, and then we're going to talk about how we go about measuring and changing them as we tune the bike. So this is the throttle bore. Air flows from the air filter over here through the throttle bore into the engine. As the airflow goes through the engine, you may or may not have an actual throttle blade. So my Mikuni BSR36 does have a throttle blade, which is actually controlled by the throttle, and then vacuum airflow operates the throttle slide because it's what's known as a CV type carburetor, so constant velocity, where it tries to maintain a constant velocity of airflow for an even mixture throughout the operating range. So at idle, the mixture is controlled by the idle screw. These largely come in 2 varieties. You can either have a fuel screw or you can have an air screw. My Mikuni on my DRZ has a fuel screw. Generally speaking, idle screw is on the engine side of the slide. It's a fuel screw. It adjusts fuel. So opening it, unscrewing it, means you're adding more fuel into the engine. If it's on the air filter side of the throttle slide, it's gonna be an air screw, meaning if you open it, you're adding more air, you're gonna lean out the idle mixture instead of richening it. Whereas this one here, once again, if you open this, it will richen the idle mixture. The idle screw does just that. It controls the mixture at idle and a little bit above it. So adjusting the idle mixture can affect how quickly and rapidly your bike comes off of idle, throttle response, and whether it idles nicely or not. The next one is the pilot jet, also known as like the low speed jet, but mostly in motorcycles they're called pilot jets. The pilot jet is for low speed operation and low throttle positions. So we're talking quarter throttle or less is when your pilot jet is going to kick in. And as the throttle blade starts to open, it's going to uncover holes in the bottom of the throttle bore, which let more fuel through with the air. And as the throttle blade opens more, the slide is going to open up and open more of the throttle bore, and it's going to lift the needle. So as the needle raises up with additional airflow, now fuel can go through the main jet and up around the needle and into the mixture into the engine. Generally speaking, the needle is going to control your mixture between a quarter throttle and 3/4 throttle. Now these are not exact delineations, there's no hard cutoff, there's always a little bit of crossover, but these are good reference points for when we start making changes. The needle is tapered, so the more the throttle blade opens, the more this raises, the more fuel it allows through. So it actually meters it. Once the needle raises to a sufficiently high point, it's not really restricting fuel flow through the main jet anymore, and then the main jet is doing all of the restricting and fuel metering. So the main jet controls your mixture largely from 3/4 throttle all the way to wide open throttle. Once again, there's overlap in all of these. These are not hard delineations. So here's the inside of our Mikuni carburetor. I've already checked the float level. It's correct. Here's our main jet. Here's our pilot jet. And this is what's called the enrichment jet. When you pull the choke lever here, it actually allows fuel to go from here past the butterfly into the engine by a separate passage. So we're going to use a wideband oxygen sensor and an air-fuel ratio gauge to tune this carburetor. This is hands down the fastest, easiest, and most accurate way to tune a carburetor I've ever found. And I'm gonna get some hate in the comments because everyone's gonna say, oh man, I have to weld an oxygen sensor bung into my exhaust. I don't have a welder. Well, let me tell you, the O2 sensor bung can be welded into a motorcycle exhaust in less than 10 minutes by any exhaust shop you'll find in your local town. They've got the sensor bungs already in stock because every car has them, and then the plug for it when you're done, because I don't leave mine hooked up all the time. The plug is an oil drain plug for a 1979 Toyota pickup with a 2.2 liter. It's M18 by 1.5. I put it on as needed, take it off as needed when I make some changes. I've done this on multiple motorcycles, I've done it on multiple cars, and it just works really well. So we're looking at air-fuel ratio. The oxygen sensor reads just that, the amount of unused oxygen left over in the exhaust to calculate and display an air-fuel ratio. You've probably heard 14.7 to 1 is the ideal ratio. We're not going for that. 14.7 to 1, yes, is the absolute most efficient ratio, but it's not where you get best power. So I want to be able to rip it on this motorcycle. So I'm looking for 12 to 13 under load. So if you have 14.7 to 1 at idle or on cruising at quarter throttle with, on flat ground, fine. Going up a steep hill, hard acceleration, you want 12 to 13 to 1, which is generally speaking where you're going to get the best power, best torque out of the engine. So another thing worth noting here is that there's a difference between ethanol gas and pure gasoline. So if you make no changes in the carburetor and you are just reading the air-fuel ratio doing the same thing, ethanol gas will read leaner than regular gasoline. Pure gas will read about 2 to 3 tenths of a ratio richer, so 0.2 to 0.3 richer with pure gasoline than it will with ethanol gas. So today we're tuning my 2003 Suzuki DRZ400. Bought the bike used, but as far as I know, the bottom end of the engine is stock, but it does have some performance modifications in the form of what's known as a 3x3 mod. So you cut a 3-inch square hole in the top of the airbox for more airflow. It's got a K&N air filter, and then just recently here, drilled out the back of the spark arrestor. It used to be about 20 millimeters in diameter, and now it's 1.25 inches, which is about a 150% increase in cross-sectional area. So the muffler definitely has more flow in it. So with that change, I wanted to go ahead and basically retune it starting from scratch. So with the 3x3 airbox mod, you buy what's called a JD jetting kit. So the instructions for the JD jetting kit says airbox mod and stock exhaust. You put 25 pilot, 155 main, includes 2 needles, a blue and a red needle, and you set the blue needle on the 3rd position. So there's 5 actual positions for the clip in the needle to set the height, and you put it in the 3rd position. So higher numbers means the needle sits higher in the carburetor, flowing more fuel, richening it up. And so once again, we're looking for 12 to 13 on the air-fuel ratio under load. And so I'm doing what's known as a road tune. I'm just driving it on the road, doing a bunch of pulls, different throttle positions, different RPMs to figure out where the mixture needs to change for best performance. So a couple things I would recommend if you're doing this at home. Number 1, write down everything. Write down all your changes, write down your jetting. It's that way you can understand what changes you've made and what difference they've made. If you have to pick this up later on, so let's say you don't have the jets or the needles you need and you need to order them online, parts come in a couple days later, it's pretty easy to pick up where you left off. The other thing I like to do is I like to put some white paint pen marks on the actual throttle quadrant itself. That way it's pretty easy to look down at the throttle when you're riding and say, okay, I am at a quarter throttle, half throttle, 3/4, full throttle. I just usually put 3 marks. I put 1 for idle, 1 for half, 1 for full throttle, and then a corresponding mark on the grip itself. So with these settings here, it is way too lean. Idle, setting the mixture, it's 12.5. I'm not terribly worried about the 12.5 there, but at quarter throttle, it automatically jumped to 14, and then at half throttle, we were at 16 already. And really anything over 14 under load, and this was very light load, so this is flat ground. This is way too lean. Didn't go 3/4, didn't go wide open throttle. The leaner you run, anything over 14, you're running the risk of detonation, and this bike has 10 to 1 compression ratio, something like that, over 10. So I definitely don't want to run it too lean and risk detonation. So with that in mind, and then the next change I'm going to make is going to be step up the main here. I'm going to go to 160. So this will be the change I make. I'm going to keep the blue needle in the 3 position and then give it a run and see what we get. With the changes we made here, it did make a change, but not as much as I would like. Quarter, yeah, I'm going to say it's still around 14, maybe 13.8 or something. And half went to 15. Still over 14, still way too lean. Didn't go 3/4, didn't go wide open throttle. Kind of stopped at that point and backed off. If you look at the JD jetting instructions here, if you have a airbox mod with a slip-on exhaust, you're supposed to use a 160 and the blue needle. So if you say, well, my modified muffler is equivalent to an aftermarket exhaust, this should have worked out. So the JD jetting kit should have included a 170 main jet. That's missing from my box. Once again, I bought this bike used and it came with the JD jetting kit. So the only thing I can do now is I can start tweaking the needle, moving it up. So the next setting I'm going to do is put the blue needle in the 4th position. Let's see if I can take this off here by just loosening the clamps and rotating it a little bit. Inside the diaphragm here and slide is the needle. And we need to take out this plug down here with a pair of needle nose pliers. Take out this, this plug. There's a small spring on top of it, or underneath it, and then we can take the whole needle assembly out. There's the needle here. There's a thick washer underneath it, or underneath the clip. There's a nylon washer underneath as well, and then a thin spacer up top. But we're going to go to 4, which raises the needle, which makes the mixture richer. With our raised needle, we saw a change, not very drastic. The big changes were down here, so we got 13. We changed the full ratio here, but we're still at 15, half throttle. Once again, that's nowhere near rich enough for what we need. So raising the blue needle did not result in a big enough change. The 170 main jet is missing from this kit. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to swap to the red needle. So here's a red needle, and here's the blue needle I've been using. So I'm going to set these to whichever touches first, holding them at the same height. And you can see the red needle is going to drop down lower. And that means that there's more taper on the red needle than the blue needle. So the highest position on the blue needle looks like it's, at this particular spot is equivalent to the 3rd position on the red needle. So we're going to put the red needle in. Let's see what we get. We're making big progress here. The red needle in 3rd position, we have around 13 at idle. At quarter throttle, we're looking at 13.5, so it leaned up a little bit there. Half throttle, we are 14 though, and then went ahead and went 3/4 throttle and full throttle, and here we have 11 and 10.5. So we're still a little lean here in the mid-range, but we're really rich down here in the wide open throttle range. So what I want to do now, I think, is I'm going to raise the needle one more position, see if it richens this up, and see what it does down here with the main jet at 3/4 and wide open throttle. Red needle, position number 4. See how this does it. All right, so that dyno run went really well. We're looking at around 13 at idle still here. We're looking at 13.5 at quarter throttle. A half throttle went to 13.8, but then 3/4 throttle and wide open throttle, 3/4 we were at 12.4-ish. Wide open throttle under load up the hill, it dropped to 11.8. I can either raise the needle up another notch, or I can at this point try to drop the main jet and see if I can get this where I want. I think if I drop the main jet back to 155, I'm going to lean this out here. The 4th position here though, the throttle is pretty snappy. I like how it tends to run there. So I might try this out and see how I like this on the road, and maybe do a trail ride in the next couple days and see how this works, and then come back and decide if I want to make any more changes. All right, so it's been a couple days. I've ridden it around on the road, took it out and hit some trails a little bit, and I think I'm going to call it good where I've got it. So yeah, ideally I'd like it a little bit richer in here, and I'd like it a little bit leaner here, but overall it runs pretty well. The only adjustments I've had to make since making these jetting changes is I've had to set the idle a little bit, and I had to change the idle mixture. So I had a little bit of a hanging idle, meaning ride it for a little bit, on some flat ground, and you let go of the throttle. If it hangs, it doesn't return to idle quickly. It's too lean. So I lowered the idle, so I closed the throttle blade a little bit, and then opened up the mixture screw probably half a turn, maybe a quarter turn. And it idles nicely, it snaps off idle well, and I can definitely feel the difference when trying to pop a wheelie or something like that, which I'm not going to show footage of because I'm too embarrassed. But overall, I think this is pretty good, and I'm going to leave it here. You're going to reach some point of diminishing returns where you either don't have the components, or you're just like, I'm tired of messing with this. I've already taken the air-fuel ratio gauge off the bike, so at this point I'm going to call it good and run it as is. Anyway, I hope this helps if you're thinking about tuning your own motorcycle. The air-fuel ratio gauge is absolutely worth it. Yeah, I understand they're a couple $100, but that's something you can use on any number of motorcycles. All you need to do is put an oxygen sensor bung in the exhaust, which, like I said, you can have done at a local shop if you can't weld yourself. So if you have any questions or comments, post in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you next time.